today, tomorrow. That's not natural sequence of time. There is also psychological time in us. That is, the incident which happened last week, which has given pleasure, or which has awakened a sense of fear, and the remembrance of that, projecting not only in the present being modified, but the future, right? I may not have a job. I may lose my position. I may lose my money. I may lose my wife. I may follow time. So, is fear part of time? Right? It looks like it. Right? And what is psychological time? There is time by the clock, obviously. If one has to catch a train, it's fixed, there's time. To go from here to there requires time, and so on. Time implies space. Right? Not only physical time which needs space, there is also psychological time which needs space. Yesterday, last week, modified today, tomorrow. There is space and time, right? Right? That's simple. So, is fear the movement of time? And is not the movement of time psychologically the movement of thought? You follow me? Please, this is very good education for each one of us. So, thought is time, right? Time is fear. Obviously. I've had pain sitting with a dentist, remembering, stored, projected, hope not to have that pain again. Thought is moving, which is time of yesterday's pain, held, and not wanting it again. So, fear is a movement in space and time which is thought. Right? If one sees that, not as an idea but actuality, which means one has to pay attention to that pain which happened here, that fear which happened here last week, to give to that fear complete attention. At the moment it arises, then it's not registered. You try, do this and you'll find out for yourself. When you give complete attention to an insult, there is no insult. Or if somebody comes and says, what a marvelous person you are, and if you pay attention, it's like a water and duck's back. Right? So please see the truth of this for yourself, that when you realize time, space, thought is the movement of fear. Right? That's a fact. Not described by the speaker, but if you have observed it yourself, that's an absolute fact. You can't escape from it. You can't escape from it. You can't escape from facts. It's always there. You might try to avoid it. You might try to suppress it. Do every kind, but it's always there. Right? And if you give complete attention to the fact is not. Psychological. You understand? So, the content of our consciousness is the movement of thought, time and space. Whether that space is very limited or wide, extensive, it is still a movement of time, space, thought. As we pointed out, together, pleasure. Right? Behind the other mountain. I hope you have observed something. The extraordinary mechanical power of that instrument. Right? The tremendous power. And thought has created it. Thought has created different forms of power in ourselves, but they're all limited. And when there is freedom from this limitation, there is an astonishing sense of power, not mechanical power, tremendous sense of energy. Much more than that. It has nothing to do with thought. And therefore that power, that energy cannot be misused. But if thought says, I will use it, then that power, that energy is dissipated. Right? So we've got 5 minutes more left. Must also talk over together the other factor which exists in our consciousness, which is sorrow, grief, pain, and the wound, the hurts that exist in most human beings from childhood. The hurt, from that hurt, psychological hurt, the pain of it, the remembrance of it, the holding on to it, and the grief that arises from it, and also there is grief involved, sorrow involved in it, and also there is the global sorrow of mankind, which have faced thousands and thousands of wars, millions and millions of people have cried. And this war machine is still going on, directed by the politicians.